I'm 65, and these are the morning habits that helped me add 30 more successful years to my life. Many people think that turning 65 means it's time to slow down and relax, that life starts to wind down. But for me, 65 was when I truly began to live. Not through money or fame, but through time, the most precious asset of all. I'm not a doctor, nor a nutrition expert, but after a heart attack nearly took my life 5 years ago, I made a decision to change, starting with my mornings. And today, I want to share with you what I do every morning. The things that have helped me live healthier, happier, and with the belief that I can live at least 30 more years. Are you ready? Let me tell you my story. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to join me every morning. A morning I'll never forget. I wake up at 4:50 a.m., no alarm clock needed. My body's been used to this rhythm for almost 5 years. Ever since that day, a sharp pain in my chest, a collapse in the bathroom, a helpless cry for my daughter, and a week in the ICU, lying between life and death, surrounded by tubes, machines, and the terrified eyes of my wife at my bedside. I was 60 then, just retired, just starting to think about enjoying life. But the truth is, I didn't know how to live. I ate out of habit, slept based on mood, and treated exercise as a luxury. So, the morning I was discharged from the hospital, I looked in the mirror and said, if I'm still alive, I'm going to live like I mean it. Not to indulge, but to be alert, healthy, and grateful. 10 minutes of silence. My real starting point, 5 a.m. I don't check my phone. I don't turn on the TV. I just sit and breathe. Just 10 minutes. 10 minutes to hear my heartbeat, to hear the ceiling fan spinning, to feel my breath, calm and steady. Some call it meditation. I call it coming home. Because yesterday, I'd gone far, chasing worries, to-do lists, calls, and messages. Now it's time to come back to myself. When you're 65, you realize being healthy isn't about how much you get done. It's about whether your mind can be still. A warm glass of water. My simple escape from pills. Around 5:15, I pour myself a glass of warm water. No tea, no coffee, no sugar. Just filtered water, gently warm, with a few drops of lemon. 5 years ago, I used to drink strong black coffee every morning. I thought it made me alert. In truth, it just covered up the exhaustion I refused to admit. But now, this warm water soothes my stomach, supports my liver, and gently wakes up my gut. It may seem small, but I haven't needed stomach medicine in over 3 years. Our bodies are smart. All they ask is that we stop treating them like garbage bins. 20 minutes of walking. With my feet, not my eyes. At 5:30, I step outside. No phone, no earphones. I walk 20 minutes around the neighborhood with my feet, my breath, and the rising sun. At first, I thought, what can just walking possibly change? But after 1 week, I slept better. After 1 month, my blood sugar stabilized. After 3 months, my doctor reduced my blood pressure meds. After 1 year, I hiked a mountain with my son. 8 hours without stopping. I'm 65 now, but my legs still want to go far. Writing 3 things I'm grateful for around 6 o'clock, I sit at my small desk by the window. I take out my notebook and write, I'm still alive. My wife still makes me breakfast every morning. My daughter texted me yesterday. Dad, please take care of your health. Just 3 lines, different each morning. No need for length or grandeur. Gratitude isn't some fancy habit. Gratitude is how you stop taking precious things for granted. When you're truly grateful, you realize you don't need much to feel completely alive. Breakfast, not to be full, but to live longer. By 6:30 a.m., my home is filled with the scent of vegetable soup. No white bread, no sausages, no greasy fried food. I usually have a bowl of oatmeal, a few slices of avocado, some chia seeds, and a boiled egg. Sometimes I switch it up with brown rice noodles cooked with mushrooms, greens, and a few slices of ginger. I've learned that health doesn't come from supplements, but from the eating habits you repeat every single day. I don't follow extreme diets. I simply choose foods that don't make my body fight to digest. I used to think aging meant becoming weak. Now, I believe aging is the time your body deserves respect. And I began showing it that respect, starting with breakfast. One new thing each morning, so my brain doesn't age too early. At 7 o'clock after breakfast, I spend 15 minutes learning something new. Not to earn money, not for degrees, just to keep my brain alive. I learn to type with 10 fingers. I study 5 new English words a day. I learned the Japanese art of tea making. I learned how to send emails, make videos, speak to a camera. Learning is not a privilege of the young. It's a small flame, keeping your brain from going cold. When I'm learning, I don't feel old. I feel like I'm just beginning something, like I did at 30. Call a friend, or write to someone you love. At 7:30, I call an old friend, not to gossip, just to say, I miss you, how have you been? Or I send a message to my daughter. You looked beautiful in that photo you posted. Or I email my nephew studying abroad. I read your essay. It was excellent. I don't want to be that old man who lives alone and stays silent. I want to stay connected to life with simple, honest words. People don't live long because of food or exercise alone. They live long because they still matter to someone. Gentle movement. As regular as brushing my teeth. At 7:45, I roll out a mat in the yard. I don't run. I don't lift weights. I simply stretch, loosen my joints, and do a few gentle yoga poses. 15 minutes, but consistent. Every morning. I used to laugh at people waving their arms around in public parks. Now I get it. Movement is how the body holds on to life. When you stop moving, parts of you start to shut down. Don't aim to do something grand. Just don't lie in bed all morning. And you're already ahead of millions. Reflect and look ahead. So, old age isn't something to fear. By 8 o'clock, I sit back at my desk and sip some warm tea. I open my notebook and write a single line. Today, I lived the way I wanted to. And I make a promise to myself to return tomorrow, same time, same place. At 65, I no longer dream of fancy houses or luxury cars. I dream of living 30 more years. With a quiet smile, steady steps, and eyes full of gratitude for life. Because I've lived through a real morning. I am not a burden. Because I take initiative. I don't want my children to call me out of obligation. I want them to call because they miss me, because they want to hear my laughter. That's why I take care of myself. I've learned to check my blood pressure, monitor my blood sugar. I schedule regular health checkups. I read scientific materials, ask for my doctor's advice, and don't believe in baseless folk remedies. I'm drafting my will. I'm preparing my medical records in advance, just in case. Not because I'm pessimistic, but because I don't want my loved ones to worry about me. The elderly don't have to be needy to be pitied. The elderly are respected when they are independent, dignified, and live with a plan. I say thank you more often and apologize faster. There was a time I broke my wife's rice bowl while doing the dishes. She was upset and said nothing. In the past, I would have kept quiet and thought, it's just a bowl. But the next morning, I left a note on the dining table. "I'm sorry, dear. A bowl can break, but our bond shouldn't. Thank you for still cooking for me." She said nothing, but I saw her wipe her eyes. At this age, I've learned. It's not about who lives the longest. It's about who keeps love alive, without arguments or pride. Keeping a sharp mind. From one small habit, I once saw a brilliant, educated friend gradually forget the names of his grandchildren. And I was afraid. So I trained my brain every day, nothing complicated. I play Sudoku. I'm learning to play the ukulele. I try cooking a new dish. I read books with my non-dominant hand. I move things around the house, so my brain has to respond to change. Each morning, I try to recall 10 things from the day before and write them down. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I miss a few. But gradually, I feel my memory sharpening again. I believe, just as muscles need exercise, so does the brain. Thinking is the workout of the elderly. A letter to myself at 95. One Sunday morning, after a walk, I sat down and opened my notebook. I wrote a letter, not for anyone else, but for myself, 30 years from now. Hello, old man at 95. If you're reading this, then your 65-year-old self, want to say, thank you for keeping your promises. Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for not living carelessly or surrendering to fate. I hope you're still walking every morning, still drinking warm water, eating simply, sleeping well, and living sincerely. And I hope you still love life, the way I do now. I closed the notebook, took a deep breath, and smiled. I don't know if I'll truly live to 95, but I know that today, I'm living as if I surely will. Living 30 more years. Not just to exist, but to truly live. I'm 65 years old, and I've never felt more alive. Not because I'm as strong as I was in my youth. Not because I have more money or more time than others, but because I've learned how to truly live. I don't know how much longer I'll live, but I know that every day I open my eyes, step out of bed, and follow the things I've shared. I'm giving myself the chance to live at least one more day, one more year, maybe even 30 more. I'm not a special person. I'm just an old man who once nearly died, and since then, learned how to live. I don't live to wait for death. I live to be grateful for every moment, because I know time waits for no one. I don't live just to avoid illness. I live to take care of myself. I don't live to be praised. I live so that when I look back, I can smile and say, I did my best. If you're in your 50s or 60s, or even just 30, I want to say this. It's never too early, and it's never too late to start living responsibly for yourself. Try starting tomorrow with just a glass of warm water, a short walk outside. You'll see, life may not be longer, but it becomes deeper. Not noisier, but more fulfilling. And one day, like me, you may write a letter to yourself at 95 and believe, I'll still be here, not just to survive, but to love, to give, and to truly live. If this story touched something in you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, so every morning you'll have one small thing, just enough to make your day a little brighter. And if you're alive, no matter your age, live like it truly matters.